Well, hello my friends, welcome to my channel, Ink and Whimsy. I'm Laura Daniels and I'm excited that you're going to be joining me for part 2 of this double page scrapbook layout. We're using a Touch of Whimsy Hip Kit Club for April, and one of the things I wanted to show you that Hip Kit Club is doing now is in each kit they are including a direction sheet so that you can follow along and create 3 single page layouts. So here's the first one, the second one, and the third one. So if you'd be interested in seeing me pull one of these together, just let me know and we will make it happen. As I said, this is part B, so I wanted to show you the first page, and today, and this was about making the bracelets, the second page is going to be about eating the cupcakes, which is always a lot of fun. And then we're going to have the big reveal with both pages side by side. So here are the photos that are going to go on the second page. It was called the Gramma Nana Day. This is myself, granddaughter Diana Rose, and her grandma Nana. And here is the story of the blue cupcake. And here we are setting the table, and we are going to use a flip flap for this set right here. And then of course I have the journaling because I'm combining 2 different stories, but it's the same afternoon, so that's going to be a lot of fun. Alrighty, so I am going to clear these away and I'm going to show you the ephemera I'm going to use, and we're going to design the second page. Don't go anywhere. Alrighty, so let's get started. One of the first things I want to show you is how I'm planning on laying out the photos. So we have our journaling, and I'm going to have a cluster down here, and then I'm going to have a cluster up here. Here's where I want to put the photo of the 3 of us, and then up in this area is where I want to put the flip flap and then the story of the blue cupcake down here. There we go. So let's set the pictures aside and the journaling, and we are going to do the background and get all of this set, because remember, it's got to match the first page. So this was a branding strip at the bottom of this large piece of cardstock. I just went over one and then to this pink line because I thought it looked so pretty, and I'm going to place this right here. Look how awesome that looks already. And then here we're going to put this underneath, but I want to tear it first. So we have some of that white core showing. Boy, sometimes I look up and I go, oh, please tell me I hit the record button. And never ever throw away these tear remnants. Because look, if I put this right here, okay, so save this. I'm going to kind of flatten it out right there. Stick it under there. There we go. All right. Now, on the first page, I had cut, this was a branding strip, I cut it in half. I want to set this over here, and I'm wondering how this would look. Here I am, geez, living on the wild side right here, and I think I want to do that. So let's do this. I can always edit it out, There's got to be an easier way to go in a straight line with this. Ooh, here we go. Let's not shake. Let's try to go straight on a wobbly piece of paper. This is going to be the clincher. Let's see if I can get this on here. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, here we go. Right on the edge. I don't know, maybe I'm getting better at this paper stuff. Here we go. Lay it down. You can do it, Laura. Okay, but quickly before it dries. Goodness, I know y'all are watching me. I just get nervous. Okay, here we go. And we're going to go like this straight. Oh my gosh, I am like quite impressed with myself. All right, let's cover this up. This is going to come together so pretty. All right, I want this glue because this is what gives you the wiggle room. None of that other stuff, that does not give you wiggle room. Okay, here we go. And I just went right off the paper. See, when y'all watch me, you know that you can survive the world of paper crafting. Because if I can put together a video and it comes out looking half decent, you can certainly do a page, can't you? Now, can't you? All right, now I want to do some stamping down here and a little bit right here, so we are safe to put this on. So let's do that. And I know nothing's being tucked underneath, so we are good, except for this. Oh my gosh. So let's do this. Okay, and that just ran out. So this goes like this. All right, here we go. I'm not really sticking it down yet. I'm just like, I think it was just so clever of me, come here, to do, let's see, we do want it kind of even, don't we? How about like that? That looks good. That I left that pink right there along the edge. That looks so pretty to me. It really does. All right, so let's see, where are our photos? Let's kind of get these squared away. I'm gonna go right here, but I'm taking this off so you don't see the glare. We'll see that photo right there. This photo, the cupcake, is gonna go on. This is gonna go on here. Here we go. And I don't think I didn't even double mat. So we are going to mat this one. Never a good time to run out of tape runner. Just like it's never a good time to run out of staples. That's the word I was trying to come up with. Never a good time. Okay, here we go. I want to mat this on the pink. God, that just makes her pretty little dress pop. All right, so we know this is going to go up here. And I don't, now look, see how I don't want to cover that? It kind of defeats the purpose of having the white torn edge. So I want to make sure, just to be conscious of this, that I leave that on that side. And then this, again, this is going to cover it, but I want to make sure I'm showing some of this color. So this is going to be moved around. This one's going to go here. All right, now let's see, what do I got here? This is my Gramma Nana day right here. And then we're going to have day right next to it. Okay, this is going to go down on the bottom. Here we go. We have our quilted star, and I'm just going to show you this real quick. I can actually tell you while I'm telling you the story, right? All right, so let me tell you this story. So after we had done the bracelets, I told Diane, I said, well, Diane, I said, I have my second prize for you, surprise for you. I said, Grandma went out and bought us all some pretty cupcakes, and we're going to watch a princess movie. So she was all excited. And I forget, oh, we watched, remember the old Barbie animated movies? They look cartoonish. And this was Barbie and Swan Lake, and it had a unicorn in it and a dancing ballerina. Barbie was a ballerina. So I was all excited. Well, I said, well, Diane, I said, we need to set the table. So we put the yellow tablecloth down, and I brought out the cupcakes, and all she could see were the cupcakes. And I could just see her little eyes, and she knew what cupcake she wanted because her hand would kind of go over it, and she was like looking at this blue cupcake. And she goes, Grandma, because I told her we were going to have to pick the cupcake. She goes, Grandma, can I go first? With her eyes on the wonderful blue cupcake with the sprinkles, because she did not want someone to get that cupcake that she wanted. She was just so polite about it. Of course she went first. What kind of grandma do you think I am anyways? All right, here's the next flower. Look how pretty this goes with this. And if you remember, the first page had a flower on it, so I wanted to have two, and I wanted some dimensions, so I found a orange button, and then I put one of the little what do you call it? What do you call these things in the middle? Blah blah blah, can't think of it. All right. Oh, see, this looks pretty as soon as you just pop these up a bit. Look at that right there. All right, so now what I want to do, I think, is do some stamping down here. And I did some pre-stamping to kind of figure out the colors I want to use. And this is Pretty in Pink. And first we're going to stamp this right here. Actually, I think I want to go right here. And then I want this shape down the bottom. So we're going to do this first. And this is Pretty in Pink, Lifelong Friends. And I'm using this stamp right here. And I am going to put a piece of foam underneath, which always helps the stamping process. We're going to stick this right under here. These used to come in the Close to My Heart stamps. So, sad day when they closed their doors. And move this over just a little bit. And we are going to do some stamping off and on. I'm going to tear this piece of paper because I want this right here to cover that. All right, there we go. And now, here is the piece. Well, that just flew across there. All right, this is our Stampin' Off. Here's our stamp for the piece at the bottom. And this is a Close to My Heart stamp. I'm sure many of you, it'll be familiar to you. It was from, if you could find this anywhere, it's the Background Elements, and I'm using this stamp right here. All right, so first, let's do this pretty one. So I'm going to open this up. And if some of this is covered up, that's okay. I just want a little bit of it showing. We're going to put it right there. There we go. And you know what? I didn't want it to be strong, right? Just wanted a little bit peeking out of the back. All right, and now we're going to do this big piece, and I want it along the bottom here to kind of frame out, and I think I want it up like this. Okay, so we're going to go across. This is a nice juicy piece. Nice juicy ink pad. Words. All right, let's just see how that's stamped. Yep, I was worried about that. That little bit right there. And if you see how here it didn't come out real well, there was a little bit of bubble underneath the stamp. So you peel it up, you put it back down, and push it nice and firmly. We're going to try it one more time just to make sure. Yeah, okay. There we go. Now we're going to stamp off. And we're going to stamp on. And since it is light, if it's a little bit off, that is okay. There we go. Oh, I love it. Kind of like a watercolor effect. So now we're going to build our clusters. And I have already told you the story. And then we are going to put these together. I'm excited. Let's move this stuff out of the way. All right, so the first cluster that I want to build is going to be, I'm going to put this down. That's what I'm going to do. So we are going to do this. We're going to peel this off. No. Now that we know we have this in the right way, so always test it before you put it in. And it's going to go up like this. You see her, and then you see Diana Rose, okay? So we're going to put it where we want it on here, so it's in the middle. We're going to fold it down, hold it with your fingers because it's sticky, girlfriend. And then you're just going to set it down right here. And I want to make sure it's straight. Okay. All right, here we go. And then this I can put on here now. Oh my gosh. Okay. Now I can put this here and get it just where I want it. Right there. Okay. All right. Y'all, don't make things stressful. If it is not perfect, just relax. Just relax about it. All right, so let's get this done. Here is my journaling. And I think I'm going to rough this up just a bit on the sides. Yeah, I touched my arm with a pan. If there's a hot pan, it is going to find my arm. Okay, now this right here, I want to take this first. I want to do this. I want to add this to the very top to bring in just a little bit of yellow. So let's do this right on here. And remember that type glue, you have that wiggle room, which is good. And I want this to be about right here because I'm going to add a little tab. Okay. And then we need to add this underneath. And put this underneath right here. Here we go. Actually, right there. I want to go up a little bit more. I think right there looks good. And then I put some foam tape on the back of this right here, and I'll show you what it says on the front, but a touch of whimsy. It was just such a magical day. The fun playing and eating the cupcakes and watching the movie. And Diana Rose, you should have seen her setting the table after I showed her the cupcakes. I think she felt like a little princess. She was so excited. All right, so here we go. It says a touch of whimsy, and we're going to put it, and see, I don't want that there. I do want it right there. That might have been easier. Okay, here we go. And then this comes up. Here we go. I just knew I'd get it. Okay, there we go. All right, now we have this word, create. This is kind of like not press board. Oh my gosh. I just give up. I give up on trying to do the words. What is this called? Chipboard. Oh my gosh, you guys are probably all saying it, weren't you? Chipboard. Hello. This is going to go right here. So I need to stick this down. Alrighty. So let's put this down first. And I want it, we're going to go like this. Let's see. I kind of want this right here and this up here. Okay. Let's put that down right there. And let's figure out where we want this. Right here. There we go. And because it's chipboard, I'm going to hold it down just for a second. All right. Now, we're going to set this down. And then we're going to build the other cluster. And I didn't put the roller tape out towards the edges here. Hoping I'll save myself from myself. How's that? Okay. And then we have our flower, where we kind of rolled up the edges. What a difference that makes, don't you agree? Yeah. All right. So I'm going to put some tape down, just a little bit. And it's going to be under a sheet protector, so we're all good. Put this. I think I'm going to put it underneath there. There we go. Okay. Oh, I love that. That looks so good. All right, now we have our flower. Not really a flower, but you know what I mean. And I think I want to put some of this stamped image up there. So we're going to take this out, and I'm going to move this up here. I have that glue dot down, the temporary one. All right, let's move this right here. Okay, here we go. And if this is going to go here, I want to have some of those right there. So let's open up the ink pad. And I got to remember, I got to do that stamping off. Second generation, stamp off, stamp on. So we're going to do that. And then I'm going to show you where I'm going to put the Gramma Nana. And then I'm going to put that down off screen. And then, oh gosh, you know why? You know why? Oh my gosh. Because I have my filming stand underneath there. So we're going to have to see if you're going to notice it as much. I'm going to have to do some finagling right here. We're going to put something there and there. But then again, I got my letters. So I think it'll be okay. All right. Oh my gosh. And see, I was pressing down on the stamp, so then I got the edges. You gotta be careful with that stuff. Anyways, life is life. Life is life. I want this. About right there, I think. I want it. Okay. All right, now I'm wondering, I think that looks fine. Yeah, I kind of like it like that. All right, let's pick this up. Okay, and now the Gramma Nana, and then I have the sweet Gramma Nana Day. It's gonna go like that, and then the sweet is gonna go up here. See, about right there, and we put the sweet there and just cover up that mess. How about that? That is what we're gonna do. There's always a way to work around this stuff. If you're coming in late, you probably won't even realize that I had stamped and messed up. All right, let's see. Ay, ay, ay. All right. You actually need to have seen the first page to know what this title means. Sweet Gramma Nana Day. And then I'm going to need to find something for right there. But I think we're going to be okay. What do you think? All right. Well, now we need to add this little bit right here to the top. I'm going to put it right here in the middle. Look how this just brings this little cluster here all together. There we go. Then I put some foam tape on this. And then hold on, because I'm going to show you how it looks after I get the Gramma Nana Day on. Look at the pink right there. Look. Oh my goodness. All right. There we go. That's on there. All right. Now don't go anywhere, because I'm going to put the lettering down, and then I'm going to add some jewels, I guess they're called. All right, so I added Gramma Nana Day, and I want to show you a tip that I've learned, right, is to get one of these T-square rulers. You set it right up against the edge, move it up to where you want to put the letters, and then I always start from the last letter and go backwards, because I find if I try to do it starting from this end going over, I end up not having enough room. So that's just something that's worked for me. And then remember how I had my stamping fiasco and I had some marks. You can barely see where it is now, right? Because I added the sweet. This is how we're always able to come back from our mistakes. I added the sweet Gramma Nana Day right here. So that covered some of it. And then I added these dots. So I added these foam dots. I added this word strip. So you can't even tell that I messed up right there, which makes me happy, because I want to be happy. Life's too short not to be happy. All right, and then you have my journaling. I am going to pause the camera. I'm going to put both pages side by side, and I'm going to read you this journaling, so don't go anywhere. This has got to be my favorite part. I just love seeing how the two pages come together, and I hope you enjoyed as much as I do. So I'm going to lift this up, show you both pages, and while you're looking at them, I'm going to share you the journaling from the second page, and then tell you a little bit about the two of them combined. So the journaling on the second page reads, next we decorated the little table in the den with a pretty yellow floral tablecloth and little plates, and then each chose a yummy cupcake. Diana Rose asked, Grandma, can I go first? Polite as can be, with her eye on the wonderful blue cupcake with all the sprinkles. We watched the Barbie movie Swan Lake. Diana loved the unicorn and the princess ballerina dancing. It was the perfect Gramma Nana Day, 29 July 2024. And it tells the story. So the first page has us building the bracelets. The second page has us watching the movie and the cupcakes. And I guess if there's anything I would say to you is relax and enjoy the process. It's never going to come across perfectly. You are going to make mistakes. My journaling, I have, like here, I misspelled something up here with Simba. I don't care. It's my story. And you know, if someone's going to get all wrapped up in that, they are not my friend. All right, so I love this little cluster here. I love how we did this. Remember, I cut it out of the cardstock and kind of just tipped up the edges, and I used a gel pen to do the faux stitching. And then over here, I just put the word fun to kind of put a title on the side of that photo. And then this over here, my favorite part, actually has turned out to be this up here. Isn't that funny? This is where I made the mistake, but I love how I was able to, because this was a foam sticker, a word, I was able to kind of turn it a little bit, cover up my mistake, and I love how this goes over the top of this quilted piece. This flower, I love it, and oh my gosh, I love this part right here. This whole little section came out so beautifully. And then we have the flip flap. Now, some of you have asked me how you put these in, so I'm going to attempt to film that in a video, and I'll add this right to the end to show you how you cut the slit in your page protector. So don't go anywhere. All right, my friends, I had someone in my last video ask if I would please show how you do a slit so that you have two options. Either you can put your flip flap right on top of this, right? So you put your page in, and then instead of peeling it and sticking it to this page, you would set it right on top here and do the exact same thing, but you're sticking it to the outside. Now, if you don't want to do that, which many of us don't want to because we don't put our pages and our albums to the end of the year and we can kind of sort them and put them where we want to, you want to be able to do it this way. And it's very simple. So you're going to take your scrapbook page and you're going to put it on the side. Now this is the second page, right? So I need to make sure I have it on the front side of where the page one will be. Now you're just going to stick it in here. I'm probably going to have to edit this, because you know this isn't going to be calmly and peacefully. All right, so now it's in there, but you cannot reach the flip flap, right? So now you're going to get a ruler, and you are going to grab a pencil, or you can use a pen. But basically you're just making a mark. You don't have to visually see the ink. And you're going to lay it right here, because see, that's where it's going to be. I can actually pull it down. Okay? That's where the slit is, from right here to right here. So I can slip that in. And I'm going to draw the line. Let's see if I did that hard enough. I sure did. All right. So I used a ruler and a pencil. And now you're going to pull it out. All right, now, once I put, and please put one of these in. You need to put one of these in. You're going to slip it in there. You're going to be able to see it. Do you see the mark right there on the paper sleeve? All right, so now all you want to do is, and it would be much easier if you the imprint that you made, that you line it up with an actual line on here, okay? Then you're going to get a ruler and use a ruler, not one that you don't want to damage, because sometimes you can go off a little bit with your edge here and you might cut into the ruler, right? So now you're going to put this right here, line it up, and then all you're going to do is draw the line. Now, if you do it a little longer than what you marked, that is okay. Okay. All right, let's see. See how easy that, look how easy that is. All right, now let's see, because if I didn't do this right, I'll just edit this part out and you'll never know. All right, let's cover up this lethal weapon. Let's grab our sheet. All right, my friends, so now I'm going to show you how to slip it into the page protector, right? So here is the actual flip flap that we created. Here is the slit in the page protector. You're going to slide it in, okay, keeping in mind where your slit is, because you want, can you see this? You want to make sure that it's going on top and through the actual cut that you made. So now you're going to gently slide it in, and look, see how it's still on top there? You're going to slide it in all the way. Here, I gotta make sure I go past everything. Here we go. We're going to get all the way to the top. Here we go. And then once you're at the top and you pulled it down, kind of run your finger along the top to get a nice edge. And then here you go. You turn it around. I'm going to pull it down so you can see how the flip flap works. Look how easily that works. If you go a little bit past the edge, that's all right. Give yourself a break and see how easily that fits. So if you like to create your pages and then later put them in an album, but you wanted to be able to add flip flaps, no problem. You can add the flip flap to the top of your page and then insert it later into your sheet protector. I hope you found that interesting, inspiring. Let me know if there's any other tips you want me to share with you. And until we meet again, God bless and have an incredible day, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.